this is your Weather Xtreme video for Sunday, November the 6th. I'm meteorologist Brian Peters. Thanks so much for tuning in. And we've got an interesting forecast ahead. Satellite image this morning shows that we have a good deal of cirrus clouds over the state of Alabama, making for some beautiful sunrises, of course, across the area. It doesn't look like the cirrus will be enough to keep temperatures down a lot, but we should climb into the middle and upper 70s for highs today. A little chilly up there in the northeast part of the state at 37 degrees, our sky watcher at Black Creek. High pressure is centered over the Ohio River Valley, and it's basically covering much of the eastern third of the country. In the upper atmosphere, we're still dealing with this upper ridge that we will be dealing with for at least another 24 to 36 hours before it changes. Temperatures across the area, for the most part, the weather observing sites at airports were basically in the 40s. Some, like Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, sitting right at or very close to the lower 50s. So not a terribly cold morning, but certainly puts a little chill in the air to where you might need a jacket. Watch warning map is kind of quiet this morning. We do have some dense fog advisories over south central New Mexico, and we also have some freeze advisories or frost advisories in the southern Appalachians and parts of eastern Kentucky and the western North Carolina area. And if you're looking for rain, well, you can go just about any place you want to in any direction except east maybe, and you'll probably get some over the next 5 days. But across the much of Alabama and Georgia, it doesn't look like any in the next 5 days. But we do have an unusual divergence in the models and some pretty extreme divergence as well. Storm Prediction Center is outlooking an area for thunderstorms extending up the just to the east of the the eastern slopes of the Rockies. And that's for day one. Still no organized severe storms expected on day two, with just a thunderstorm area over Texas and up into Kansas and Oklahoma. And then on day three, it's suppressed down into Texas and a little bit of the lower Mississippi River Valley. And tropics also remain quiet. There's the Atlantic Basin with nothing expected for the next 48 hours. And there's the eastern North Pacific. And once again, nothing expected for the next 48 hours. All right, we're going to grab some models here from the 06Z GFS model run. There's our surface pattern for this afternoon at, it won't be this afternoon. Well, yes, this afternoon at noon, not 1 o'clock, now that we've switched our clocks back. And the high off to our north and northeast, and that's keeping a nice easterly flow and keeping us dry. The upper atmosphere on Monday, we see the ridge moving over closer to the east coast of the United States, but we also take note of a very strong, or what will become a strong trough, moving into the north central part of the United States, and again, that's on Monday. The surface high remains along the mid-Atlantic states and keeping us in an easterly flow, relatively dry. The trough comes in across the Great Lakes on Tuesday, and that will be approaching us on Tuesday, so that we'll see a front. And moisture has increased to our west, so we're seeing some moisture up the lower Mississippi River Valley, but we're not getting much moisture over this way. As a matter of fact, even on Tuesday at midday, the greatest moisture is over there along the Texas-Louisiana border, but we do see that we are getting at least precipitable water values on the order of 1.25 to 1.4 inches over parts of western Alabama. The trough moves by quickly, but the GFS is doing something completely different from the European. It's cutting off a closed low over the lower Mississippi River Valley on Wednesday. Now, if this happens, we'll have more showers. Still not a big rain event, but that would certainly produce more showers over the southeastern United States. Not for everybody, but my concern here is that even the GFS is still not doing much with precipitable water. The precipitable water values are still generally less than about 1.4 inches. So therefore, while we will have the lift if we have this closed low, this closed upper low, we certainly don't have much moisture for that lift to act on. So once again, if this pattern happens, we'll see scattered showers. Thursday, that closed low, according to the GFS. Now, keep in mind, the European doesn't have this closed low at all, so it keeps things a lot drier. The GFS on 18Z on Thursday moves this closed low over to central Mississippi, And, of course, that would bring some scattered showers across parts of Alabama and Georgia if this pattern is true. The reinforcing shot comes out of the Great Lakes in the main flow pattern, and that will move this closed low out to the Southeast U.S. coast on Friday. And when that happens, of course, it will really dry things out across here. So we're back to the dry pattern, which agrees with the European at this point. And then on Saturday, we see the GFS forecasting another shot here, but we would be at low values of precipitable water once again. So even though we have a good element to produce some lift, we don't have much moisture to lift on. And then by Sunday, a week from today, we see that trough is out into the just off the East Coast, out into the Atlantic, and we're under northwesterly flow. So the good news is it looks like by next weekend we should be returning to temperatures at or below our seasonal values, seasonal averages. So that would be nice as we see high pressure over Arkansas. Looking out into voodoo country, the GFS has no lack of traveling systems. We see one. This one would affect us primarily Monday and into early Tuesday. This is at Tuesday at noontime. Then around the 18th of November, Friday, we see the ridge in place, but we do see another fairly substantial trough over the Rockies. And then that trough comes out across the lower Mississippi River Valley as a closed low. That would certainly predict a rather stormy period around the weekend of the 19th and 20th of November. But remember, it's voodoo country. It may not be there tomorrow. Well, James Spann should be back with the next edition of the Weather Xtreme video first thing on Monday morning. I had a great time down at Sawyerville yesterday in Hale County. Enjoyed the wonderful hospitality of the folks down there at their fall festival, Sawyerville Day, and appreciate the invitation. I'm meteorologist Brian Peters. Have a great day and Godspeed.